Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, streaming network services of all ages, welcome back to a very exciting episode of Preston Can't Play. The one who was kind of the first one to be the shit, and, you know, was the shit for quite a while, but now just kind of has a Gerard Way show on it, and that's kind of keeping it going. That's Preston Black.
Yeah.
And hey, the one who's only good if you're trying to watch Game of Thrones, and other than that, I don't know what else is on HBO. Is there anything else on HBO? It's me.
Other HBO shows, presumably.
Taun Mitchell. How's it,
I can tell you what, that really hot Michael Jackson documentary would be on there, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the one where we're talking again about how he seduced children.
I didn't realize that, like...
It was old news and everyone just knew about it, but apparently it's a really hot topic now.
Same, actually. I didn't realize there was a time where we had, forgotten about it. Yeah. But a coworker of mine listens to The Read, which I've recently learned I love. It's a podcast. Covers a lot of... Excuse you, it was only my turn to talk, and I guess, never mind.
I beg your pardon.
It's pop culture podcasts from a queer and brown perspective, which is fucking great if you're into either any of that information I've just presented to you. But they 2 weeks ago had talked about the R. Kelly documentary that had just come out, and they're both like, yeah, I really am worried about this Michael Jackson one. If they're just gonna drag Michael Jackson, fuck that. We don't need that shit. And now after it's come out, they're talking about it oh, it actually, I guess fuck Michael Jackson. I get that we don't want to say that because we only have so many black icons that are accepted in American pop culture, and so for us to have one that's been established as the king of pop is kind of a big deal.
I'm sorry,
for so long.
Ignore me. I'm just gonna. Your mic cord was sticking out. You were still recording.
Yeah, let's just interrupt everything I have to say.
Sorry, I just didn't want it to drop out.
Wow, I really lost my train of thought. Thank you.
Sorry.
Wow.
I apologize.
How wildly inappropriate. But we're limited on black icons that white America is willing to accept as yeah, that's the king of pop. And so I get that their expression was that it's hard to say we have to cancel this one, especially because Michael Jackson's story is over. So why are we still as invested in how fucked up of an individual he definitely was, compared to we still have R. Kelly. R. Kelly's still a piece of shit.
Right.
He didn't tolerate anything. He just got mad about my microphone while it was still recording. He was like, "Hey, I know you're really on a tangent here. Really on a." Ugh.
Maybe you should cut this part anyway.
It was painful.
Every day of my life, and she was like, "Oh yeah, you have super curly hair, right?" Because my hair is always up in a bun.
Oh yeah, so they don't know. Yeah, that's right.
Any idea?
I was like, go on, but yeah.
I was aware.
Yeah. I had my hair down at work once, and Michael full stopped and was like, "Oh, I think your hair down." I just thought it was weird.
Even when you go out, you very rarely just have it down. Usually it's yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, yeah, we're related. And she was like, oh yeah, your hair is super curly, right? And I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, yeah, it's up in a bun. Anyway, that's the story about how no one at work knows how my hair is.
That's so funny.
And sometimes if I go in there with my hair down, everybody is like, Grace! And I'm like,
just...
What's here? Where do I want to go?
You can go wherever you want.
You're the one who told me to do this.
That was it.
The Opshi Dunge.
These are just simple locations. None of these are involved. So,
okay, Opshi Dunge.
Just check them out and then just turn around and go back the way you came. Anyway, so yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, this was my Chris, I guess I'll let you witness this.
My friend the eggplant. guys seem fine. What's your door? Ugh. More doors I can't open. I am pleased you think me worthy, O wise one. I await your final program code. Now don't go getting all emotional on me, critter. Back to work now. That was really tricky.
Yeah.
That was really tricky. Alright, well, they're boring.
I think you can actually talk to the old man directly.
I don't care what he has to say.
Fair enough.
How do I
think he literally just says, like, don't go on Death Peak.
tell me what to do, old man? You get my old man on the horn. He'll tell you how I respond to being told don't do nothing.
Sweet.
I'm gonna fucking do it. That's the TC anyway. The Taun code. Oh. Well,
so I don't know if you
now.
I don't know if you saw that like little blink. But if you run up and to the right into that little nook, there's a power tab there. That we can grab.
How about I save my progress first?
Fair enough.
And you can go ahead and give us your hot Robert Kelly take.
I don't know what that is. Oh.
The thing you were just interrupting me about.
Oh yeah, so I was just saying that I agree sort of about like the difference between like canceling R. Kelly versus canceling Michael Jackson, because like Michael Jackson can't hurt us now.
Yeah, and I mean there are people who are living with the abuse that Michael Jackson inflicted on them, and they're forced to continue on through their existence dealing with the impact that this individual had on them.
Yeah.
But like, where am I going?
Up and to the right, yeah. Like as far as you can reach, but to the right.
It won't let me. It's broken. It's broken because of you.
No, it will. You have it inside of you.
Inside of me? But then there are also like tapes of R. Kelly doing soliciting illicit acts with minors. I did everything you told me to do.
Well, you got to it. You just clicked the wrong direction. It's up.
We're done here.
Yeah, I mean it's.
What am I doing next?
It's not a big deal. You have. That's it. You go back the way you came.
What, according to the great Preston, do I need to do next? Should I heal? You think?
I don't know. Do you feel like you need to?
What did I accomplish by going through this dungeon?
I told you there was no payoff. It's just whatever treasures that you found. I mean, presumably you got some weapons, right?
Presumably.
Yeah. So I think you should have created some shortcuts so you can just.
Yeah, I'm on a shortcut now.
Yeah.
It's just a lame
I don't know.
one.
Do you think that it's worth? This is I don't mean this as like callously as it sounds, but do you think it's worth the people who have to live in constant reminder of what happened with
69.
Michael Jackson for us all to agree that like he's like canceled, like no more?
What do you mean?
Or do you think it's like they're gonna have that either way? Like, does like taking his music off Spotify really have that much of an effect?
Michael Jackson is no longer making money off Michael Jackson's music. I don't give a shit what we do with Michael Jackson's music.
Yeah.
But
That's right.
what's down here though?
That's the like long way.
Did I ever go here before?
Yeah.
I've been here. This is old news, Preston.
Yeah.
Preston, help!
You can get through them without fighting.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I mean, I'm not just gonna ignore the fact that like Michael Jackson, John Wayne, George Washington were pieces of shit just because they're dead. Like, we can still acknowledge the fact that, like, yeah, they're shitty people. They did very shitty things. I'm not here to like romanticize their horse shit to be like, oh well, it was a different time. It was fine to own slaves in the time of Abraham Lincoln. It was fine to be a racist and misogynist in the time of John Wayne. It was fine to like harass children when you're a celebrity the way that Michael Jackson became a celebrity. It's like, no man, they're all nasty. They're all nasty. they're all trash. We can. Michael Jackson in particular, like, had a major impact on pop culture and music. We can, like, still have that.
Right.
But we can still also say, hey, Michael Jackson's kind of trash and did some trash things. But what's challenging about it is there are so many, in the narrative of this particular podcast, there are so many white folk who are, like, so ready to hop on, like, yeah, fuck Michael Jackson, that piece of shit. He did all this bullshit, and, like, we should take him off Spotify and, like, cancel all this shit.
That's a very extreme reaction to a person who's dead.
Yeah. And
like, no one's ever going to get a payoff. You know what I mean? Like, he went to court at least 3 times about it. And,
right.
like, all 3 times it got thrown out.
But nobody was pushing to blow up on John Wayne this way when he was somewhat recently dragged back up from the annals of history. They were like, yeah, okay, whatever, crazy old white guy, right? But then as soon as it's a black celebrity, it's like, oh my god, this is trash. Yeah. We need to tear his posters down. We can never talk about him again.
Well, I wonder.
Where am I going?
Up. And so, they gave you an item in that last place, in the last session. The bike key.
Okay.
I think that's relevant to this location.
What am I doing? Where do I go?
Just, you go in the entrance. Yeah.
Up here? Okay.
Yeah. And it'll all unfold in a way that I think will make sense.
It will all unfold.
Yeah. I guess I hadn't considered that, and I think probably part of that, because I don't know if this is valid or not, but I feel like I'm old enough to remember the last time that Michael Jackson was big news. Oh, what happened?
Just playing my way, dog.
Oh, all right. The
Gonna
last
go get
time,
some heels. Gonna go get some free heels. Is that a problem?
No,
is that too stressful for you?
No. The last time that Michael Jackson was big news, and this wasn't the case. Like, no one was like, throw him in the garbage. Everyone was like, man, it sucks that he did that stuff there, presumably. But what can you do? You know what I mean? And, like, he was alive at the time, I think, or it was like right after he had died. But I also remember when he was alive, you know, in like the late 90s or whenever, when this happened. So it happened then in the late 90s. It was the second time he went to court, as far as I know. And then it happened again right after he died. This was big news, the same events. And it may be some new information has come to light, or it's being told in a way that's more compelling or something. But this has all occurred before, to a degree. And at no time do I remember anyone positing that Michael Jackson should be canceled, either when he was alive or posthumously.
Well, I feel like
and this time, and I feel is right off the heels of R. Kelly, and everyone was just in an angry mob mood. Also, we're way more like in a constant state of angry mob mood now. So I feel like
we're more comfortable to cancel someone who, like, deserves to be canceled.
Yeah, totally. Right. I guess that's the better way to.
For a long time, there wasn't a place to, like, have this conversation, but now we have Twitter and the entire fucking internet.
Right.
Where we can have this conversation and be like, hey, this thing that this celebrity did made me uncomfortable. Can I talk to someone about that? And then so many people are like, oh my god, I felt that same way too.
Yeah.
And so it's a more understanding place, I feel like, where, we can all understand that that person's trash and you're allowed to feel that way.
Yeah. I kind of don't remember where I was going with that point.
Well, a lot of the narrative, because you were mentioning that this has been brought up before, there's nothing new.
Yeah.
A lot of the narrative on this particular one is the impact that Michael Jackson's actions had on the kids he was abusing.
Yeah, as opposed to, like, it being focused on him.
Yeah.
And what he went through, which it was the case. It was like analyzing, like, oh, what led him to do stuff like that? What was his background? Why did he act this way? I don't remember the framing of it being focused on the impact.
Yeah, I mean, I've not watched the new documentary personally, but my understanding is that it's less of presenting fair evidence on each side of the debate. It's just like, hey, this is the impact that this person had on other human beings who are still alive today. And so that was apparently some of the issues that people took with it, was like, well, it's not presenting a fair case. There's no fair case to be made. This is someone else's piece.
Also, like, have you never seen or heard of a documentary before? Like, the point of a documentary is that it like takes a particular perspective.
Yeah.
And like might offer counterpoints, but like it has an agenda. Every documentary has an agenda. That's why it's a documentary and not a news story. You know, so like it's a story that I guess hasn't really been told so much. And I guess I mean, I misspoke. It is good that it's being told in that way. The value of canceling Michael Jackson at this point, I guess, is debatable.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if we were going to do it, we should have done it at the time.
Well, I care less about deciding how I feel about Michael Jackson than I do about deciding how we want to proceed with the stories of the survivors of Michael Jackson.
Yeah, right. Like that should be the thing, right? And like worrying about like who still owns Thriller, which is the meme.
What's the meme?
Like Thriller, right? Like white people giving up Thriller. Is all I've seen about it. I mean, initially I saw people like, hey, have you seen the documentary? But like the shared posts and memes are all like white people giving up Thriller. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, like that doesn't seem. Oh, you did it.
Did I win?
Yeah. Did you like that?
It was fine.
Yeah.
It was whelming.
Not over, not under.
No.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
I feel like I could have done better with the second run, but sometimes you got to do it in one. And I guess it doesn't really matter how much I win by. I just won.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. There is now that you've cleared like the mandatory minigame, you can repeat it, and it like clocks your times.
Wow.
And there's a prize for like getting so many like victories in a row or something, but it's meager and it's not worth it. And then you get like bonuses to the race, like you can change the viewpoint and you can actually like you gain access to your turbos.
I had turbo.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I had 3.
Oh, never mind then. I guess you can just change the viewpoint, and that's that.
Dork.
So that was that. That was Lab 32. That was your mini game to break the narrative.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a fun 10 seconds it was.
1995. Best I could do. And then 2 years later we had Final Fantasy VII, which was easily
These are 2 years apart?
half mini game. Yeah.
Wow.
Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
Which, like, if you think about, like, they must have been working on Final Fantasy VII,
Yeah.
like, at this time.
At least writing.
Yeah.
What a weird.
Had PlayStation come out in 1995?
I think PlayStation was 96, but I could be wrong.
I only
Might have been
became
95.
aware of PlayStation in like 1998, I feel. Like I didn't even know it was a thing.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I didn't subscribe to any or like read any magazines besides Nintendo.
What do I do?
Magic. You gotta magic him.
I don't have any magic.
Sure you do.
Someone killed him.
Oh, all right. Well, then you're fine.
He died for reasons unknown to me.
Fair enough. Yeah, I had no way of like knowing about PlayStation happening until I like.
Till the PlayStation came out. Are you talking about PlayStation coming out?
Yeah.
You're such an old.
He learned about it years after it was out.
Like with I'm guessing like 1 or 2 years after it came out. Because I didn't know about it until I went to someone's house who had one, and I was like, "What is that? It's CDs."
TV?
Yeah.
You had a TV.
Of course I did.
Then
Were there ads for?
I knew what a PlayStation was.
I may have been like acutely aware of it, but I certainly didn't know. Like,
Oh,
know
so
any,
now
just
you're
because I
cute.
remember now that I'm thinking about it, I remember seeing.
For your TV? That doesn't make sense.
I remember seeing TV spots for Final Fantasy VII.
You can't just have a CD-ROM for your television set.
All right, well, we're gonna
How does your Betamax player take that?
we're gonna pause here, and we're gonna shit on Preston between episodes, get it all out of our systems, and
No, I think we'll be back with this on episode number trace.
all right, goodbye, everybody. I'm the jerk.